Jennifer says, they misrepresented the job and description. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I feel stuck. I left a job of 7 years and I've been here 8 months and I knew within days this was going to be bad. That sucks, Jennifer. I sympathize with you. See, this is the problem when you change jobs, right? There's always a risk. There's always a certain amount of risk involved because you're jumping almost blind. And even if they've told you, the job description, even if they've given you a little tour of the place, if you've met several key people in the role, there's always going to be risk because you really don't know where you're going to and how it's going to be like. It's not always, the fault of the employer. A lot of times it is, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you could just arrive in a place and they're a good bunch of people, but economic conditions change or that industry changes and they go through some tough times. And so it's not going to be as smooth sailing as you would have hoped. But there's also the people that abuse this, right? And like I was just saying, some employers believe that, you work for us, therefore we have the powers of God. We can assign you any duty we want. We can change your job description at our convenience. And you just have no choice. You just, will take it, right? And that, of course, is wrong. You can do that with some people for the short term, but you certainly can't do that with people who are in demand. And you can never do it with anyone for the long term, So Jennifer, something that, like if this is really bad, something you should be aware of. I'm sure you are, but just in case you aren't, something you should be aware of is that all jobs, you go through a little bit of a learning curve, a bit of an acclimatization, where, in the beginning, it's a bit scary, it's a bit unfamiliar, and then you have to learn the role and it's hard. You get in trouble because you mess up and, things like this. There's that period. There can be other things thrown into the mix too, things that not a lot of people talk about. Sometimes there's an official or unofficial initiation. They've got their people that are tried and true, right? That they rely on, that they know, but you're not one of them. You're the new person, right? And so sometimes they have to feel you out. They have to sometimes mess with you a little. And if you come through that and you can laugh it off or you can swing with it, maybe then okay, they accept you as part of, their real team and you've passed the test and you're one of them and they treat you a lot better and it goes a lot smoother, right? Sometimes we encounter that depending on the work environment. I don't know what situation you're facing or you're walking into, but that's sometimes the thing. Other times, even though it's intimidating and scary, you sort of have to, just like the job search process where you had to go to the interview and pretend that you were super confident and relaxed and all this, when really you're not, you're the opposite of that. Sometimes once you started the job, you have to kind of do that again, where you pretend that, you're enjoying yourself and that this is a great job and, you got a real affinity for it and stuff, when you really don't, and you don't feel good about it, and it's scary and it's annoying and it's aggravating and you're miserable. Starting somewhere new is never easy. So my point is that sometimes you have to continue that artificial effort of pretending that you're a lot happier and cheerier and more agreeable than you actually are, than you're actually feeling. And sometimes that can help. You can get over that sort of initial kind of initiation period. So I'm not sure if any of those strike a chord with you, Jennifer. I'm not sure if any of that relates to the situation you're in.